Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. It's his way back. Welcome up. Let's Taylor.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Scott Geirman, senior writer, Dodger Blue. I'm here with my good buddy, managing editor Blake Williams. How we doing, man?
Doing okay. Bit tired, but doing okay. It's somewhat of a busy day for not much breaking news, but there's a few things that came out today, so more than normal.
A lot of Dodgers making appearances on shows, Foul Territory. We're seeing, Jack Flaherty's doing a ton of public appearances here. Honestly, he's a free agent. But Austin Barnes, Max Muncy doing a ton of stuff. They're getting it out there. They're getting a lot of chatter, going to bat for themselves. Still some guys that are free agents. Stuff players we'll get into tonight. Blake Treinen especially. But just really wanted to get the pulse of kind of where you're at now that we're a couple days removed from the Blake Snell and the press conference and how that was. Kind of how was that experience and being there firsthand and understanding and kind of evaluating when you're listening to him and the pulse of where he's going to be at, what he's going to be for this Dodgers team, man.
Pulse was a little underwhelming compared to the press conferences last year with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Still exciting, but much smaller crowd. They did it indoors instead of outdoors, and when we looked outside into the stadium, it's a huge pile of dirt being dug up everywhere because all the construction going on there. So it's a little weird, but I mean, it was kind of like any other big press conference signing they do. They introduce the player, they give their statements, and then a whole lot of questions and hyping up the player and stuff like that. So nothing too out of the ordinary there, but it was pretty telling. Blake Snell said like how much he wanted to be a Dodger, how the atmosphere and situation is just perfect, from the city, the weather, the front office commitment to winning, the team on the field, just everything came together. And it feels like the Dodgers are really becoming a destination spot, and we're seeing it now with Snell and some of the other guys, and hopefully that pays off more into the future.
I really couldn't agree with you more. And we haven't been on here. Right before we hopped on the show, we were talking like we hadn't been on since prior to Thanksgiving. We had that send off and we're like, hopefully we'll talk soon next week's Thanksgiving. So it's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're doing well, man. I know you're staying busy as usual. We're, keeping the site. We're, a lot of stuff rocking there. Fantastic writing. We've got a terrific staff working hard in the off season here. Chat, I really want to give you, a heads up on the stuff we're getting into tonight. We're going to open it up later on to a larger kind of open segment for questions and take the conversation however you want to do. I know you, everybody watching, tuning in, you love when that happens. You get to drive it however you like it. The best way to drive the conversation, get questions, comments in, is super chats. Toss those in, pause the show, and go from there. But do us a favor, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for us. Get this out there. We know everybody appreciates some off-season chatter. We're getting into December, December 5th now, man. And to the point where I'm getting ready for some ball. My girlfriend told me like a month ago. It was about a month ago, a little bit after the World Series, right? And she was saying, man, I miss baseball. And I was like, I don't right now. I'm going to enjoy the World Series. I just need a little bit of a break. And now that we're about a month, I need some ball, man. I need some baseball, Blake. I need it.
I'm okay waiting, because once that starts again, going to be extra busy for me. So I'm trying to enjoy the break a bit. And if the Dodgers started playing baseball already, I wouldn't be very confident in their outfield, which kind of leads into the segment we're going to get into a bit here. So, yeah, still got some stuff to do in the offseason first.
Yeah, so we'll kick this off. Some news that hit tonight about today about Freddie Freeman. He undergoes ankle surgery. What do we know about that, Blake? Freddie Freeman undergoing surgery on his right ankle. And the good news is that immediately comes out that he'll be a full go for spring training. What's your takeaway from this here?
Yeah, it's kind of a straightforward surgery. It was mainly to remove loose bodies and what they say debridement. So, I don't think there's too much to worry with Freddie Freeman. I mean, we saw him already play through the injury throughout the playoffs, and he won the World Series MVP playing on his injured ankle. So it's good to get it out of the way, get some clarity there. It's better than waiting and seeing, going the rehab route and then ending up in spring training where it's, he's going to miss a month because he didn't end up getting the surgery earlier. So just kind of gets it out of the way, gives him some time to relax now, and then whenever he's ready, probably in a month, maybe 2 months or something like that, he'll start really kicking it back into gear and should be a good full to go for spring training.
Yeah, BC, it's not surgery for the sprain ankle. It was more, some debridement of the area, removing some loose bodies there, and just to kind of get it to where the team feels comfortable with it, something where to clean up the area that there are no issues going forward, I'm sure. Like, I mean, we're not doctors, man, but I'm sure we can gather that playing through that kind of did a little bit of damage. You know what I mean? Like a little bit at the very slightest, but it's good that, he got this taken care of, full green light through it. I'm glad now he can let that broken rib heal up, whatever he was dealing with there, because Freddie Freeman, he was a warrior. He was battling through a lot. So all credit to him, man. I mean, can't say enough about the World Series MVP. So nothing really much there. I'm glad it was some straightforward news. Nothing that's going to prolong him, being on the field for the Dodgers. It's great. He's having, this moment of his career where we all know he can lock it in when need be. Right. And he's just continuing to show exactly who he is. Any thoughts, final ones on Freddie Freeman? It's good to know that it's just like you said, a pretty straightforward thing here. Nothing really else going forward for him.
I mean, for that, yeah, it seems like trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
He had the hand injury, his fractured finger during the season, which probably healed by now, but that was still something he was dealing with
as well. Yeah.
He had the broken ribs that he injured right before the playoffs started, played through the postseason with the broken rib. So Freddie kind of got beat up this year and still played through it all, still won World Series MVP. Like, build him the statue at some point. Like, he deserves it for that.
Can I ask you something, Blake? And I've actually had buddies of mine ask this. I know Freddie Freeman's legacies with, a lot of his stuff is with Atlanta. Is there any possibility that he goes into the Hall with a Dodgers cap on?
I don't think so. I think if anything, he'd go in with no cap on, to not fully disrespect the Braves. Like, I think he still has like a lot of feelings and care for the Braves there, even though he's more over it at this point and like fully settled into being a Dodger. But it would probably take a lot for him to go in with the Dodger cap, like maybe 3 more rings and another 3-year deal at the end of his current deal type thing. Yeah, I don't really see it happening, but he's definitely putting up an impressive career with both teams.
And this is going to lead me. Yeah, somebody said he can go in like an MLB hat on. This is going to lead me into just something I have to say. With all the stuff going around about the Dodgers and people being mad at the Guggenheim Group and being able to do what they can do with the deferred payments, create a destination spot, like you said. And that's what we are now. That's what the Los Angeles Dodgers are. Destination spot. Blake Snell said it. He was excited to not only get paid that big signing bonus, but to join a team where you're able to, learn from the best and also be on the best. I'm enjoying being like the villain a little bit, man. I'm enjoying seeing everybody up in arms about what the Dodgers throwing their name in every single hat for every big name player. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. Bring it on. Bring
Scott
it on.
Wants to ruin baseball, confirmed.
Yeah, I couldn't care less. If people are upset, that's just, go talk to your owner. Be mad at your own, ownership group, your owner who doesn't want to spend. Milwaukee Brewers owner is ridiculous. All the core stuff in the world to be a successful team, but you've got scandal stealing sand in Malibu. It's just crazy stuff, man. Everybody can, do what the Dodgers are doing, not to the extent of a deferred payments of $1 billion, but you could bring guys in and get tricky and you can have contracts that work in your favor to bring these things, these players in. So yeah, man, I don't care anymore. Ruin baseball. Bring them in. Bring them in. All right. What do we got next? Chat, what's up? Good to see all the regulars in here. Shout out to the 1,000 on Thursday. We appreciate you. I kind of want to talk Blake Treinen because every single show that we've had, yeah, Mike, I do like having all the Infinity Stones, Mad Lad, same thing, Villain Arc. But we haven't really talked a bunch of Blake Treinen. And I know that, he's not a back burner piece, but relievers, he was on Foul Territory today. I believe it was today, right? Yeah, today. And he was speaking with Alana Rizzo, Eric Kratz, Trevor May. And he was like, relief pitchers, are the kickers of Major League Baseball. And you're forgotten about. You're forgotten about. If you don't do your job, everybody knows. If you do your job, people are like, good, you did your job. But Blake Treinen, Blake, how important is he, on the Dodgers radar, to bring back here? And then we'll get into his quotes and what he said. But rank that on a 1 to 10 for me. How important of a piece is he to bring back?
I mean, I think he's got to be up there at least a 9.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure early in the offseason, Dave Roberts was asked about like his ideal scenario. He said a starting pitcher, Blake Treinen, another reliever, and an outfielder. And I think it's only a matter of time until Treinen gets re-signed. I'd be pretty shocked if he doesn't come back. He means a lot to the Dodgers. I think he's really comfortable in LA. And
Yeah.
it's just they have to get the deal done, and I'm pretty sure it's going to at some point.
So let's talk through these numbers. This last year, Blake Treinen goes 7-3, 1 save, 1.93 ERA, 2.99 FIP, and a .94 WHIP. 50 appearances, man. And in the postseason, let me pull this up here. In 12 and a third, 2.19 ERA, and 18 strikeouts, just walks 4. We all know what he did in the World Series there. Just one of the gutsiest performances I've seen. It's one of my favorite baseball moments. I know the Freddie Freeman moment, but there's another one in there that everybody needs to remember for, I would say, as long as you're a Dodgers fan. When Dave Roberts goes out to the mound, he says, I just wanted to, get hands on him, talk to him. And he says, "It's my guy." And then earlier tonight, when I was watching, I just popped on SNLA to see what was going on. It was a Dodgers rewind game where Blake Treinen was facing the heart of the Yankees order. Same type of scenario. He's got Judge there, goes up against Stanton, and it was that fly ball to left field, and everybody got Steinered, and the ball just dies, and Teoscar gloves it. So that moment is so high up there for me. And just like you said, I believe it's a 9. He's got to be back. You've got to do something. But I know The Athletic has him projected for like a 1-year, $12 million deal. Got to do it. Yeah? You on board?
Yeah, I think like with what Treinen said earlier, he's open to kind of any type of contract to re-sign with the Dodgers. And
yeah,
I think that really gives into my confidence there of how they're going to actually get a deal done. It's just a matter of time at this point. I think a 2-year deal is probably fair for him, depending on what he's looking for. Maybe 2 with an option or something like that. But yeah, I mean, they have to bring him back. He's a huge part of their bullpen. He can pitch in any role you need him, whether it's fireman, closing it out. I mean, he pitched multiple innings in the World Series and playoffs. Like, it's just the guy you got to keep around, and his willingness to want to come back.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy deal to go do.
Yeah. Blake Treinen, he's an older arm, 36 years old, but he did everything and he didn't slow down. There were times during the regular season you could see some spotty stuff there, but when he buckled it down, he was lights out. The Dodgers need that workhorse essentially in the bullpen. You need that guy. With Evan Phillips showing a little bit of regression or some bumpy stuff there when he, locked it in, he locked it in for sure. Bruzdar, what you're going to get there. Vesia, Bonda, you need Blake Treinen. Michael Kopech, same thing. I think you need, another piece to pair in there, and just a lot of as I'm chatting, I'm seeing you say this, constantly. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Just keep it right there. Bring Blake Treinen back. To that quote, he's open to any type of contract to re-sign. And that just proves the culture they have, the direction they have, and just kind of the system. And, these guys understand their role. And I like that it's just a collective group now. And I feel like, Blake, it took some years post Kenley Jansen era to really get to a spot where these interchangeable relievers, they're not making a fuss about just pitching in any spot necessary. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yes and no. I think they kind of tried it a bit right after Kenley left, and they've had mixed results throughout it. Then Evan Phillips kind of took over that role pretty clearly there after the 2021 season. And then he ended up struggling this year, and then it kind of turned into all committee again. I think in their ideal scenario, they have like a free range of closers with multiple guys who can go multiple innings and multiple spots here and there, play the mix and match, play the matchups and all that. But sometimes it does just settle in where this guy ends up being your closer. Treinen ended up doing that throughout the playoffs for the Dodgers. And if that's the role he comes back in, great. If they end up mixing and matching again for the closer role, that also works. I'm sure Kopech's going to get a lot of opportunities too, and probably Vesia when it's left-handed heavy. So it's a good mix for the Dodgers. And when you can add relievers who really buy into that mindset of being ready to go whenever they need to go, it's going to be beneficial for the team.
Yeah. I don't think there's any issues or any pushback from anybody that is, weary of him being 36 years old. He's got miles on the arm, not so far removed from some injury concerns here, but he had that body of work in 2024 where I feel we all felt very comfortable with where he's at. Bring him back in and just lock that, set it and forget it right here. Let Friedman cook, man. That's it. Just let him cook. This goes into our next thing. Keep tee it up, Blake. Dodgers still in on Juan Soto. Smile it up. I know you're happy about this. I know you are just elated about it. I am too. And it's a mountain, right? It's the elephant in the room that we have to talk about. You have to take note that they're getting into the latter stages here. Everybody's got to remember Shohei Ohtani announced that he was signing with the Dodgers on December 9th of last year. We're on the 5th and people are saying he's dragging it out. So pump the brakes here. It's just that there's a lot more back and forth rumors with all of this, and it's just more public than Ohtani's free agency was. Talk me through it, buddy. Where are we at?
I still don't think it's going to happen, but you also totally can't rule it out. It was Jon Heyman who reported that they're still in, and it was notable because it came after Scott Boras said they were starting to eliminate some teams from their negotiations. And it's also notable because every team that's still in has given him a contract offer of $600 million or more. So he's going to get paid very well. I think the Dodgers are trying to probably tempt him with one of those high money, some deferral type deal there. But yeah, I mean, you have to make the play for Soto. Whether you end up signing him or not is a different story. But if you have a chance to sign him, you go and give it your best effort to do it. He probably is going to want to end up on the East Coast, and both New York teams are favored at the moment. But like, if there's any chance he wants to come be a Dodger, you have to explore that possibility. So I like that they're doing that. They're doing their due diligence and trying to get him. And if it works out, then you might have the best lineup in baseball history. And if it doesn't, you go to plan B, which is Teoscar Hernández, and you still have a really good lineup with an elite pitching staff, and you're going to be favored to win the World Series again. But yeah, if you can get Juan Soto, like, it's just an obvious move you have to go make.
And I just want to, I know that Jeff Passan, I know he's made some appearances on ESPN talking about how he mentioned the Dodgers. So I think that's of note that it was more than Heyman. I think so too. I think you know about that, right? I know you do. I see people saying, yeah, the Dodgers might be in there to just drive up the price, but the Dodgers are just going to lurk. And if some team balks at a certain, number and the Dodgers are willing to get there, then they're going to pounce. That's just how it is. They're going to do it. With Blake Snell, they paid him that big signing bonus so that he'd be open to those deferral numbers. So the Dodgers get very, tricky. They work the numbers with the contract stuff there. And you just have to what Blake said. You have to check in on it. Chat, we're not going too deep into it. But it's more of what you have to keep, right at the top. You just do, and then work from there. But
real quick, there was the report that like Soto might get $750 million as an offer, and part of me feels like that could be the Dodgers. And I know, like, on the surface, it's a little crazy to think about paying him more than Ohtani. But if you're doing a lot of deferrals in that deal, then you're telling Soto, like, you're beating Ohtani's contract. The present day deal value of the deal is still going to be higher than Ohtani's. We're going to defer to help us out, but you're still getting like the record contract here. And I think that is something that would intrigue them. I'm not sure if like the Yankees or Mets or any other team would be willing to defer 200 plus million in a deal, but could be intriguing for the Dodgers to say, like, we're going to give you more, but you're going to defer some of it. And the present day value is still going to be really great. So if that contract rumor is true about 750 million, it wouldn't totally surprise me if that's from the Dodgers.
I need to pull this up because I'm trying to find out. I read the stat the other day, or, the article the other day about, of course, the Dodgers don't always work with Scott Boras well. And I saw, Joel puts this up. Soto is a Boras guy. So is Blake Snell. And the Dodgers struck a deal with Blake Snell and Scott Boras. And for a guy in Scott Boras who you wouldn't imagine is going to, obviously Blake Snell, there was motivation to, be with the Los Angeles Dodgers. There definitely was, besides just the money. It was, the money plus match made kind of in heaven. We all saw that in the press conference, initial excitement stuff for sure. But I would say that, with Scott Boras, I think that there is to what Blake said, it's all about the number. Like with not people don't talk about the present day value of Shohei Ohtani's contract, do they, Blake?
No.
They don't do that. So they don't really look that deep. So if it's just the shock value of the overall number, now we're talking. Now we're cooking, Blake. So we'll see. That's a really, really good point. So it's just about beating that number. Can they do it? Maybe. Will they? We'll have to see. December 9th's not here yet. So Juan Soto hasn't dragged it out as long as Ohtani did. So until we get to that point, you just have to. I know he's dwindling down to what Juan Soto, that timeline for him is. But until then, Dodgers will be holding off on stuff with like Teoscar Hernández. Do you agree with that?
I think so. I think we'll get into the Teoscar stuff soon, but it makes sense for both sides to wait until the Soto negotiations have fully played out and he signs somewhere. So we'll see how it ends up actually affecting them. Maybe if they feel like they don't have a chance on Soto, they try and jump ahead of the market and get Teoscar back. But yeah, I think they're trying to get Soto until the end, and until he signs somewhere else, they're going to be in the mix.
No doubt. Can we talk for a second about the Dodgers and the deferred contracts and what that kind of says about the organization as a whole? I really want to get you, now that we're on here with you, man. I miss you, buddy. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts on what this says about the stability of the organization. And I've been chiming in with chat the last few lives, talking with people in there about this. But with the deferrals and how their willingness to do this, what does this say about kind of the concrete, foundation that this organization has? Because to what it says to me is that they project to make boatloads. And that's why they're just like this. We do not care. We're going to be here. They're projecting to make so much that it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. I think they've kind of mastered the business of baseball. Like, you're getting elite superstar, all-star level players, but you're paying a ton of their contract in the future when the value is going to be lower. And because they're putting the money away from those contracts, instead of paying Shohei $70 million this year, they're paying him $2 million. They're putting that $68 million into an investment account and they're letting it grow. So they have his money set aside and they're making money off the money they're not paying him yet. So you're making present day money on it now. You're making money on it in the future. And by the time you actually have to pay him that money, the value is going to be lower. And you're getting that with so many of your players on this roster. They just have, like we've talked about, $1 billion in deferrals. That's all just sitting in an investment account, basically gaining more money for them. And that's something Andrew Friedman talked about after the Blake Snell press conference. Like, all the Dodgers owners, and including Friedman himself, come from financial backgrounds where they understand this thing. Like, they're putting their money to work for them. Plus, they're making money with their TV deals. They're making money on all the merchandise and fans showing up and everything. So they're just kind of printing money. And that's why they're able to go spend all this, keep signing more all-star, superstar players and, quote, ruining the game type stuff. Like, they have figured it out perfectly. They've convinced players like deferrals are going to be a good thing for you because you're still getting money now. You're going to get money after you're done playing. And
they convinced Scott Boras.
You're still getting a present day value that's better than what other teams are offering or similar to them. So it's just great all around. And I know a lot of fans complain about their teams aren't deferring money, but they should be. Like, all you're doing is taking the money you'd be spending and putting it into an investment account and then paying that money in the future and making more money off it now. So it would benefit more small market teams if they started doing it, but they're not. And the Dodgers have figured it out perfectly. And it's just going to keep reaping benefits for them.
It's unbelievable. I tweeted out the other day, I was like, it's exhilarating times, man. Once you step back and you look at it and the stability that they've created, this is what Andrew Friedman said. It was like, he said, the golden era, the golden age of Dodgers baseball. Something like that. It's as good as it gets. Off the field, on the field. In terms of the names that they're able to bring in, it's just there's a caliber of like player that teams can't even touch. It's just once it gets into the, north with these contract numbers, some teams can't even do that. Their owners won't even touch it, won't even go there. General managers might call in, find out, never call back. Dodgers, it's just like we understand the value that you bring in. So I'm glad we're on here to talk about it because Chad, I haven't been here to do that. And I wanted to get Blake's thoughts. And I agree so much on, the business side that they've just figured it out. They absolutely figured it out. And then when they project, they've got their stuff and they exceeded expectations. I get with Shohei Ohtani stuff, Yamamoto, bringing everybody in, going on, winning the World Series. I think it shattered their expectations. You agree with that?
I think they had high expectations to begin with, so I don't know if shatter is the right word, but they definitely did really well. It was pretty much every week for the first few months of the season. They were signing new endorsement and sponsorship deals with companies based in Japan. They have found a way to continuously print tons of money, and like it's just working out really well. And credit to them for also investing it back into the team instead of just pocketing it all. And I know they're still making a lot. All the owners are happy with how much they're making, but there's a lot of owners out there who make a lot of money and just put it in their pockets and let the team fall apart or rot. Looking at the A's and maybe the Pirates a bit there, some of those other teams. Yeah,
they spent today
their contract that was basically Blake Snell's signing bonus. They spent, yeah.
I think that was the largest deal in A's history, if I'm not mistaken.
That is
Luis
correct.
Severino. Big Luis Severino. Love it, man. All credit to him. He deserved it. He earned it. He's had a career resurgence there. But that just to say that 3-year, I think it was 60, was it 67?
Yeah.
67. That's the largest deal in their franchise history. So, what are we doing? What are they doing? Yeah, Steve said A's are ruining baseball. Yeah, man. That ownership group's ridiculous. That owner's terrible. It's just killing the fan base there. Rich history of baseball, Oakland A's baseball, tragic. I feel bad, man. Definitely there. So, congratulations to Luis Severino there for getting that contract and pushing it up there. Yeah, people, Fisher's a clown for sure. A little too late. Laura tosses this one in here. I'm intrigued by what the Dodgers will come up with to get Soto, and I am Team Teoscar. Speak to this, Blake. What are you, and then we'll lead it into our next topic here, because Rich has another one as well. I know your team Soto, but that's not like you're not Team Teoscar as well.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it too. Like I said, I think if that $750 million offer is real, it really could be the Dodgers with deferrals and stuff to bring that present day value down. But if they've made it this far, like I have a hard time seeing the Dodgers being scared of going like an extra 50 million here or there type stuff. Just like you don't go this far and then balk away if the number gets to 650 instead of 620 type stuff. So it'll be intriguing to see what they do. Even if they don't end up signing him, I'm very hopeful that we end up hearing reports about what they were offering and trying to do, because it is intriguing. And we haven't really seen them push for a free agent like this outside of Shohei Ohtani, and his contract was very unique. So I don't think Soto is going to have that kind of unique contract. I'm pretty sure of that. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do.
No doubt. And this is from Fabian Ardai's article the other day. And he was talking about, this is, excerpt from his article, so all credit to him here. He says, it's the same recruiting pitch that landed Ohtani and Yamamoto a year ago. With the promise of more to come, it's the same pitch the Dodgers have given to the Snells and the Juan Sotos. The spending doesn't seem like it's ending anytime soon. Then he says, quote, it's from Andrew Friedman. He says, I think with the position we're in right now and the success we've had, it puts us in the position to be even more aggressive. And then he ends his article with, that's scary for everyone else. If that doesn't flex financial security and the power that you have to do this and to not stretch yourself thin by just offering these players that deserve to be paid this the market value or what the market's willing to pay them. That is exactly that. It's scary for everyone else because it shaves off 95% of Major League Baseball teams from even thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, They're trying to build a dynasty, and they're going all in on it. They're willing to spend, like we just talked about, they're printing money. They're investing it back into the team. If you keep convincing players like, come join a dynasty, it's going to be a pretty easy sell when the money's close and the weather's great here. Everything just screams like perfect situation, like Blake Snell was talking about. Like, it's just something you're going to be in on every superstar that's available on the free agent market now because of that type of stuff. And there's not going to be many similar to Juan Soto. So if you can get them, you just keep trying for it.
Regardless of what the Dodgers do, if they get Soto, they go Teoscar, whichever, they pivot. They've so far, the Dodgers have spent 182 or committed $182 million this offseason. And piggybacking off the offseason they had last year, is this the 2-year span that we may never see again?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever going to, especially if they get Soto, it's already probably like unlikely that it's ever going to duplicate this, but 700 million to a player and then 600 plus million to a player, that would be pretty crazy, combined with Yamamoto's contract lasts now, maybe Teoscar, Blake Snell, whoever else they end up signing and getting. Like, they have spent a lot and they put themselves in a position to be able to do this. And like, credit to them. There are some tough points where we were upset about how the front office is operating. It seemed like they were on the cheaper end, but they really put themselves in a great position to be able to do all this.
And this next one here is from Rich. He says, if the Dodgers are holding off on Teo because we're waiting on Soto, that screams to him, screams, your plan B. He wants to be a Dodger. Sign him already.
I mean, I think Teoscar Hernandez understands Juan Soto is Juan Soto, and like, it might hurt a little bit to be plan B, but it is a business still. The Dodgers are trying to do the best things they can for their team, and Teoscar's trying to do the best things he can for himself. Like, as much as it might hurt the feelings a little bit, it is a business at the end of the day. It's the reason Brent Honeywell got released and he's not still with the team. Like, it's just that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't think Teoscar would be hurt by it. I don't think he would not want to sign with them because he is plan B per se. Yeah. I think he understands the situation here. Players are professionals about it.
Yeah. I mean, I posted my thing on my Instagram today, and Teoscar, I don't know if he runs his own account, which he may do, but he's watching those stories. So he wants to be a Dodger, man. I know he does. I know Teoscar Hernandez wants to be a Dodger. I know we all do, but just like you said, it's when these players come up in the free agent market, which they don't very often. It just does not happen. You got to do everything you can to bring him in. He'll understand. If he wants to be a Dodger, he'll be there. If the team wants him there, but they've just got a box to check, a big one, and work the financials out there. What I want to bring up, and I just escaped it. It just lost my mind for a second. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got it. The reason why that I don't think the Dodgers can, if the Dodgers they want Juan Soto, they won't be outbid. They'll figure a way to make it happen, right? But I think that the Yankees have so much more to lose if they don't land Juan Soto. That's why I just think they're going to be so aggressive, because that lineup without Juan Soto, I don't know what you have. You've got Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and not much else.
The Anthony Volpe disrespect is real.
It is very real. Yeah, man. Like, it's very real. So that's why I think a team like that, and the Mets, the Dodgers, you don't necessarily need Juan Soto, but it's an opportunity. So speak to the Yankees and kind of why what another team, those teams out, in the East Coast, their motivation to get him. Yeah, DM, I got you. The Yankees lineup without him, we all know. But speak to that for a second, Blake.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason I don't feel like the Dodgers end up with Juan Soto. I know there's all the talk about geography and preferences and all that, but I don't think that matters as much as the money. And those other teams are desperate to add him. The Red Sox need him in their lineup. The Yankees need him in their lineup. The Mets would really benefit from him in their lineup, and we know Steve Cohen has a ton of money. Like, the Dodgers, they don't need him. If they don't sign him, they're going to be fine. If the Red Sox or Yankees don't sign him, they're going to be in panic mode. The Mets are kind of a different scenario. I think you could put them in the need category, but also, like, they just made it to the NLCS without him. And I think Steve Cohen's going to spend no matter what to get his team good again. But yeah, I think those teams are definitely going to be more desperate and aggressive to try and get him, where the Dodgers are more like, here's our offer. This is what we're willing to do. Come join a dynasty if you want. But the other teams are probably going to be aggressive and maybe get a little stupid in the negotiations trying to get him.
Yeah. Hep says Scott, the Dodgers should be desperate for Juan Soto. Look at our current outfield. I'll get to that in a second, but I think the Boston Red Sox are a very intriguing destination for Juan Soto. He provides them with like a top 4, top 5, that even top 6. That's interesting. Absolutely. You're going like Jared Duran, Devers, you slot Soto in there, Tristan Casas, Trevor Story, whatever he's going to give you, and Yoshida for sure. It's like those are building blocks. Like that's somewhere you can go, man.
This guy just named Trevor Story in the 2025 season.
Just saying. I said it's building blocks to get you somewhere, man. That's all. That's it. It's if you don't pluck it there. I'd put that lineup. I'd put that lineup against the Yankees. I'd put that lineup above the Mets. It's just how I see it. You slot Juan Soto in there. They're doing some different things. To the pitching, they've got some some questions to answer over there. But it's definitely a spot, and we'll see if John Henry, the Red Sox owner, if he goes out there and pays him. We'll see. But that's another destination spot where I kind of want to see it. You know me. I've talked to you before about the Red Sox. Like I've got a soft spot for the Boston Red Sox in terms because of like a 2004, man. Like that series against the Yankees when I was a kid made me fall in love with baseball. And like playing MVP baseball with Manny Ramirez on the cover. Stop. You're grinning, but it's true.
We just got all the Boston love in this chat right now, right here.
You say what?
Boston Scott, Boston Blake.
Oh, God.
Isn't Boston Scott an actual running back in the NFL?
I don't like root. Oh, yeah. Boston Scott. I don't like root for the Red Sox, but it's just like they've got their run in 2004. And honestly, for like the next 10 years afterwards was fun stuff, fun ball, likable ball players there. A lot of good documentaries out. Boston Blake. I forgot about that, man. But I'm glad we talked about it, huh?
Real quick, one more question we got from the Ohtani and Shohei's, or Ohtani and Soto stuff. Why would the Dodgers pay more for Soto than Ohtani? Just how the market goes. Contracts are always going to beat them. They're going to one up the next one. The same thing happens in the NFL and NBA. Like worse players get paid more money because they're the ones on the free agent market at the time, and contracts just grow every year. So it's not like about the talent level or anything. It's just about the needs there. There's a bidding war, and that's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah. All right. Now we're in this part of the show that I'm happy to talk about because Teoscar Hernandez is progressing towards re-signing Blake. Who talked about this? Was it David Vassay?
Was David
on
Vassay,
AM 570 here. So talk me through it because I was busy at the time that this kind of came out, and I just said it didn't surprise me. I was always like, if they want to get something done, I'm sure the framework of a contract is there. But the quote, David Vassay says, my understanding, talking to people around the league, they expect Teoscar Hernandez to re-sign with the Dodgers. Many people around the league expect Teoscar and the Dodgers to find their way back to each other. He says, and my understanding is the Dodgers and Teoscar are very much engaged in trying to nail, this is the important part, nail the final details of a contract. Things are looking good for Teoscar Hernandez and the Dodgers to be back together. Hold that apart for me.
I think that's what we always expected was going to be the outcome here. I'm a little surprised we got this report before Soto ended up signing. Could be something where like they're saying this is the contract we're going to do. We're just waiting on Soto to sign type thing. So yeah, they are nailing out the final details of it. And maybe they're willing to sign both. Maybe they're just going to punt defense for the next 2 or 3 years in the outfield and run Pages in center with Teoscar and Soto in the corners. Who knows? But I still don't really think they end up with Soto, and I think Teoscar's the most likely outcome here. Yeah. And most people expect Teoscar to be back with the Dodgers. I think both sides kind of want it to happen. So if they really are getting the final details of the contract together, it does make sense. Probably some stuff related to deferrals and maybe some like trade bonuses and stuff like that in there. But yeah, I think they're probably fairly close.
I love Teoscar Hernandez, man. I love him. He's the best. What a dog. He dapped me up at the Blue Diamond Gala, and I didn't wash my hand for 4 hours. That was great. Never forget it. Heart of gold. But I understand the pause with people who want to say you don't want to give out a 4-year contract. I don't care. Bring him back. He's the heart. He's the heart and soul of what they've got working. And I don't want to see him leave. Not going to happen. Had one of the best offensive years of his career. I would say so in terms of clutch hitting, what you've got to see consistently throughout the season. I don't have to keep talking about it. We all know Teoscar Hernandez's value to the Dodgers team. And he didn't show any signs of slowing down. We talked prior to him joining the team. The early rumors of him joining the Dodgers, I was like, he fits the bill perfectly. Talking about his swing profile, his hit profile at the plate, free swinger, not afraid. Love him, man. Aaron says Teoscar gave Scott Coven. He's fine with it. Yeah, man, I don't know. He could punch me in the head. I don't care. He's a dog. I just know that the autograph photo that I ordered just is going to skyrocket when he signs that, 4-year contract. Can't wait. If that thing even makes it there, they might pull it down and bump it value up and say, you got to Fanatic, Scott, you got to send me, another $50-$60 to unlock it, and then we'll send it to you. Tommy Edman won too.
You're going to really love that Xavier Paul autograph picture they send you.
They've been doing some funny stuff. I saw some funny mishaps on Reddit about World Series memorabilia and them just printing random numbers on stuff and random letters and names. That's so funny, man.
Fanatics messing up? Never.
Never.
No
never.
way.
But I gotta wait. I just gotta wait. And then I told Mads, I told my girlfriend that hold off on buying me any Teoscar Hernandez jersey until he signs the deal, and then we'll go from there.
Does that turn into a Juan Soto jersey if Soto signs?
I'm not gonna tweet what? Probably Tom Edman, man.
Okay.
Probably Tom.
Well, you can do that now. He already got his extension.
I'll wait until they change the jerseys, though. That's what I really want to do. That's why I'm not changing or buying anything. I gotta wait because they're starting those back up next year, right?
Yes.
So I'll wait. Everybody wait.
We'll see how they actually look and how Fanatics pulls it off, but
everybody wait on jerseys for sure and go from there. Chat, start your questions up. We're going to get that rolling here. Drive the conversation. Get us where we're going. Anything on what we covered tonight made you feel a certain type of way. If you want to, DM, get the old format back for sure. Bring those old jerseys back. We'll, get to where the players love them, the fans love them. But chat again. I know you guys have a certain feeling about Juan Soto. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. Floor is yours here. If you want to talk to Teoscar Hernandez, I'm in. If you don't want to talk anything else.
Getting Majestic jerseys back instead of Nike, like when baseball jerseys were great.
Can we get Brent Honeywell to be like the spokesman for apparel of Major League Baseball? Because he's out here wearing the old school, the Majestic turtlenecks. Was that right?
I don't know if it was Majestic, but yeah.
The Yankees did that. The Yankees brought out the old school stuff. And I think, was it Nike got mad at them for it? I think they went in and they wore all the old stuff and Nike got mad at them for it. So, Brent Honeywell, I would love to see those old school. I love the early 2000s Dodgers road unis. If there's a way that Dodgers can get those in production here, I want them. I need one. I need an Adrian Beltre early 2000s road uni with the piping on there. Yeah. I'd pay a lot of money for that. A lot. What did admin say about the extra money? Would you send that extra money?
For the
Yeah, I probably would, man. I've already cleared out the space on my wall for the Tommy Edman and the Teoscar Hernandez autograph photos. Yeah, for sure. It's got me in a chokehold. I laid in bed staring up at my ceiling fan, excited that I just purchased those. Yeah. Yep. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me, Blake.
I'm laughing a little. I haven't spent any money on World Series stuff. Everything I got has been free. You got me the jersey for my birthday, the Disneyland Dodger champion one. I think that's the only thing I've put money toward.
Can you announce that? I don't think you did. Good guy, Scott.
It's still in the process of coming, so I was gonna wait, but yeah, we'll show it off on a show one day.
Good guy Scott gets Blake his Disneyland Dodgers jersey. What a dog. All right. Let's see here. William says, are the Dodgers signing or trading for any other starting pitchers? Speak to this, Blake, because my number one hidden target on the market got what a lot of people said was overpaid in Matt Boyd. So I have nobody else right now. Anybody else on the Dodgers radar for you? Is it Walker Buehler?
I mean, we can go down a whole path about Walker Buehler, and I have made my case known. I don't think he's coming back to the Dodgers. I do think they add a starting pitcher other than Roki Sasaki. I think they're going to try and bring in a veteran, probably like a 1-year deal. Not sure who that name is. Don't have anyone in mind yet. Still hyping up Nick Pivetta, but I don't think that's going to happen because he's going to get paid. But
he's going to get paid.
Yeah,
he's going to get paid. Did you hear that the A's tried to sign Sean Manaea again? Yeah. And you pivot, you're fine paying $367 for Severino. Arms are getting paid. Matt, if you're in here, I'm telling you, I'm going to bring up the conversation we had about Walker Buehler, and we were talking about mid-arms getting paid. Giolito got paid. He sucked for like 2 years, and he goes out and gets 2 years from the Red Sox. Yeah, like it's getting wacky. Arms are getting paid. I think that's probably going to be the toughest part of the offseason is, do these teams, are they going to invest in kind of project arms? Answer to that. Are you thinking more teams are going to go towards project arms and try to find that upside stuff? Or do you think they're going to pony up, man?
I think it depends on the team. It seems like the Mets are clearly looking toward the project upside pitchers and not spending near the top of the market. I think a team like the Red Sox and Yankees would probably be more looking toward the top of the market, especially if either of them miss out on Soto. So it really depends on the team. I mean, we've seen the Dodgers do both. They've went out and got top of the market guys with Glasnow and Snell. We've seen them try the upside route. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it's failed. But yeah, it really depends on the team.
All right. We got some super chats here. I don't want to miss these. Where are they at? There we go. All right. Zenji, what's up, man? This question, if we don't sign Soto, could you see the Dodgers trading for another starter? Yes.
I could see it happening even if they do sign Soto.
Regardless. They need it regardless, I think, right? They need one.
I think like the Burns and Fried types are out. I think Crochet could happen because he is on a cheaper team-controlled deal. I wouldn't expect anyone like in the middle of the market either, like the Nick Pivetta types, the Jack Flaherty types. So I think they're going to try and look for one of those high upside type pieces, someone they can try and fix or rebound and get them on a 1-year deal and just add some depth to the rotation.
Hold on. This Blake is the only one who wouldn't do $354 million for butane.
You're talking about like the 7th starter in the Dodgers rotation. Like, what are the chances Buehler is significantly better than Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May next year? I would bet he's worse out of the 3 of them. Like, if you're paying that when you already have guys in-house, I don't see the Dodgers being desperate enough to do that. If Buehler's willing to take 1 year to stay with them, sure, I think they're going to try and do that. But I think Buehler is going to get paid quite a bit by a more desperate team.
He's going to get paid, man. He's going to get paid. I had that conversation with Matt, and it's stuck in my head ever since. Once it clicked that these projections were legit, their Dodgers are going to give him every opportunity to go get paid. And I'm sure he wants to be back with the Dodgers and go from there, but I think they even understand, like, there's a number that they'll go to, and that after that, it's like, Walker, you just got to take it. If it's elsewhere, you just have to. And then 21's chapter with the Los Angeles Dodgers will be done. And he ended on incredible 10 innings. What's up? What's on your mind?
If they get Sasaki, Buehler doesn't even fit in the rotation. Like it is a numbers game here too. You're not just looking at the player and the contract. You also have to consider they have a very stacked rotation at the moment. And of course, we know injuries are all going to play into this at some point. But if you're going out there with Ohtani, Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Kershaw, Sasaki, Gonsolin, May, whoever else they probably end up signing, like there just isn't room to fit a Buehler type pitcher in there. So I don't know. I think they still believe in Bobby Miller as well, and he's easier because you can stash him in AAA. But yeah, I don't really see any room for Bueller in the mix, especially at the contract they're talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of arms to shuffle there, and a lot you have to find the innings around there. And if he's making that type of cash, he's in the rotation. He'd have to be in the rotation. And then it's like, what do you do with the rest of the arms? You know, and I know we always have the conversation of, do they have enough pitching? They always have a need for pitching. So if he's going to get that cash, I think we're trending towards the side where if a team's willing to go 354 with Blake Snell there, with Buster Olney's report that he feels that the Dodgers are the destination spot for Roki Sasaki when he is posted for the 2025 posting period. He will be there. It's just a lot to figure out. It's a lot to figure out. We'll deal with the emotions of that when we get there, definitely. But Nick says, other than re-signing Treinen, are there any relievers you guys see the Dodgers trading for or picking up guys who were DFA'd? He's talking about, I'm forgetting his first name, but Finnegan, Alzolay from the Cubs.
Kyle Finnegan.
Kyle Finnegan. I know he had some moments. Big fastball. I haven't looked into it, Nick, to be honest with you. I've stayed more so on the starting pitching side and kind of those diamond in the rough guys. I feel they have enough relievers from that sense. Maybe Blake has some. I know he's looking some stuff up here. I know he's spoken to me about some names beforehand. He usually will kind of, dive into that a little bit. But Blake, do you have anybody that's on your radar at the moment?
It's not a popular one, but I could see Kenley coming back. I could see them going into like the Yimi Garcia market, the Tommy Kahnle, maybe Carlos Estevez. Like, I think they're going to add in another righty reliever to kind of replace that Daniel Hudson role, especially Brusdar Graterol being injured and out for half the season, if not a little longer. So I think they're going to be in the market for a reliever. It just kind of depends on who they target and who they like. David Robertson is intriguing. Jeff Hoffman is intriguing. There's some interesting names out there. And, as the Dodgers do, they're going to sign some random guy who's going to end up being some dominant arm for them at some point in the year. So we'll see.
We also have Giovanni Gallegos that people need to remember. That is someone that the Dodgers can tinker with here. And he is not so far removed from being a very good reliever in Major League Baseball. So nobody forget about that name. We're still going to hear about Edgardo Enriquez in the coming years. I see a comment here about need another lefty in the pen. I don't think they do. I think we've got the pair there with Alex Vesey and Anthony Bonda. Do you think they need a third lefty reliever out there?
No, I don't think so. I think they like their guys who are more neutral splits where they can face lefties or righties. That's the kind of thing they target. They will probably look for someone more like on the 40-man roster spot, but they added that one guy to their 40-man, Dreyer, I think his name is, this offseason, who might be their third lefty there. So that might be what they're looking at.
Definitely. Absolutely. Let's see here. Deanne, this is one we get asked about all the time, and I wish it's something that we, knew more about, but it's a conversation that even when he's healthy, we talk about that he hits such a violent arm action. Something looks like it's not right, and there's going to be something that occurs here. But to your question, his success as a starter is limitless if he stays on the field. Like, he can be one of the nastiest pitchers. The problem is that he's lacked the strikeout numbers to be as dominant. If he gets moved to the bullpen, like, you kind of feel that Dustin May would have to find more strikeout production, or he'd be like more of just because Brusdar Graterol is very good, but he'd be a very high velocity, pitch to contact, get the bat swing, miss the big part of the bat type of reliever.
Well, his strikeout stuff was trending up before his injury, and he was starting to look like a legit ace before he got hurt. So I think there is still like untapped strikeout potential there, and him kind of figuring it out. Unfortunately, like, his sinker is his primary pitch, and that's not going to get you many strikeouts to begin with. So I think regarding him moving to the pen, I don't think that's going to happen. at least not to start the season. I think there's too much upside there for him to stay in the rotation. Starting pitchers are more valuable than relief pitchers, and they're going to try and stick him there until they absolutely have to move him.
Yeah.
And I think they've shown a lot that they're also okay with those high injury risk type pitchers, like same with Glasnow, same with some of the other guys they've had in the past. So I think he's going to stay in the rotation until something forces them to move him.
I understand that. I got you. No need to make a hasty, decision on it. Let's see here. Zenji says, I think, thank you for the super chat, man, a lot for everybody tonight. Thank you for the support on those super chats. We appreciate them a bunch. He says, I just think that last year's 40 starters left Friedman shell-shocked, if you remember his interviews, maybe sign Jack Flaherty. Are there legs on Jack Flaherty? I know he's been very active this offseason with public appearances, doing a ton of radio shows, TV shows, stuff like that, podcasts. As far as a reunion to the Dodgers, I know he was vocal in the celebration stuff about not wanting to leave, but is that a fit that you see going forward?
I don't think so. I would sign him over Buehler, like given the choice. I think he's a safer, better option. I think that has become more of the unpopular take here, but Flaherty was like the best pitcher traded at the deadline. They went and got him for a reason. He was pitching like an ace at the time, and I think that's going to lead to him getting paid somewhere else. I would be a little surprised if he doesn't reach that $100 million plus range, especially considering some of the other deals pitchers have got. So I think that's going to price the Dodgers out of it for what they're looking for, but I'd be really happy if he was back.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like when he was at his peak stuff. He had a terrific 2024 season. I loved him in his early year, part of the year with Detroit. I loved what he was doing there. A lot of fastballs out there. I loved when he came over to the Dodgers, heavy knuckle curve. I loved it, or heavy curve. He was working a lot of secondary stuff there. It was when he got stretched is when he really started to break down a bit and show his biggest issues. But I think GI makes a good point here. I think with the recent signing, it probably priced the Dodgers, out of Jack Flaherty's market there, because pitchers will get paid. And I don't know how much getting the most top dollar matters to Jack Flaherty. Look, guys, it's all going to come down to, when you're a mid-market arm trying to maximize what your earning potential is. I would be upset for the player if they were to take an ultra team friendly deal to do that. Look, if he wants to win, he'll stick around, be in a rotation where you're going to be in, some of the best care you can possibly be. You're going to be with the class of Major League Baseball. But as far as like your one opportunity to get paid, I would love for, these arms, these players that are in their biggest opportunity, going into this free agency period, like Walker Buehler, like Jack Flaherty, it's their biggest time. It's their biggest time to get paid. So wherever you can get it, if it matters to you, go get paid. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I stand on that. I know it's not a popular take, but I'm very pro player in that aspect. There's a lot of money to be made, and I just want them to go get it. I want them to go get paid. That's just my thing. Even if that upsets fans and you don't get some of these fan favorite guys back, I want players to get paid. They deserve it. It passes it on to the next. That's what it does. So. All right, let's pick a couple more here. Let me see. You put one up that you like.
This one was right up your alley.
Vasse mentioned a need for a lefty outfielder outside of Soto. Who do you guys prefer in this spot? Jock, Kepler, Dalton Rushing. Dalton Rushing's interesting just because it's a top prospect who you don't get the opportunity for a landing, kind of a land runway for a player to get some playing time there. Look, a platoon with Dalton Rushing and Andy Pages would be great. Immediately platooning a top prospect is something you don't always want to do. Blake, do you agree with that right away? I kind of want to see what they can do at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Dodgers have not gone that path, but I would prefer that they give them more of a runway.
So if you're willing to let's just say that they're not going to do that, all right? Then I don't want to go into the year with that thought process. Like if they're going to say Dalton Rushing, you're the left fielder, you're going to play as much as possible, get your feet wet, see what sticks, get you some time, and see if you're the everyday guy. All right. And if they don't, I know I saw, Jock Peterson's name get kicked around a little bit. And I know Admin's in here watching on the Dodger Blue account. He said he wouldn't be opposed to a Jock Peterson reunion. Chat, would you be upset with a Jock Peterson reunion?
Not happening.
Not happening. I know.
If everyone is concerned about Juan Soto's defense, well, let me introduce you to Jock Peterson.
But it's not on a. But relax, man. That wouldn't be on a a 15-year contract, 14-year contract. It's a matter of like the guy
He's also not hitting Juan Soto numbers though.
He's OPSing like 900 plus.
He's good.
What are you doing?
But he's a DH.
Yes, correct. I'm not disagreeing with that. He shouldn't be anywhere near the diamond. He should never have he should send his glove home and only carry around a batting gloves, and a helmet. And that's all he should have. That's it. But
that's the best role for Jock. Just let him go. Face righties and hit dingers.
Dad bod Jock is crazy. And Jock Peterson, Jocktober, undeniable. Undeniable. People saying, why not? Yeah, he's at a part of his career where he gets paid to just roam the National League West, hit home runs, and hang out. And that's awesome. Good for Jock. Nobody can hate on that. Team's willing to pay him. He's going to go out there. It's not like he's bad. The dude rakes. He's a platoon guy, and he absolutely crushes in those platoons against right-handed pitching. Yeah. Spot's not for him with the Dodgers as far as playing the field. Yeah, people saying bless his heart. Jock just wants to, hit dingers, man, and be a plus bat against right-handed pitching. How can you hate on him, Blake? Don't.
I don't hate on Jock. I'm just saying he's not a fit for the Dodgers.
Nah, man. I can tell. I
do like Max Kepler. I think he would be an intriguing option as a platoon bat. My guy Joey Gallo still out there.
Give it a break.
Bringing Joey Gallo to hit some homers for the team.
Get out of here, man. Dan, what's up, man? No Joey Gallo. Shout out to the 2,500 in here. Everybody collectively tell Blake, no Joey Gallo, man. We're not doing that again.
MLB The Show legend. Get him on the team. You would love having Gallo and Ohtani in your MLB The Show lineup.
I'm still going to, absolutely. I'm going to lay it, man. Blake, you're going to get owned, man. You're going to get owned. And anytime we get on the sticks with MLB The Show, you're done. You're done, buddy.
So, know who would be a really good lefty outfielder for the Dodgers?
Talk to me.
Juan Soto. I know the question says outside of it, but there's a simple answer for your lefty outfielder.
He said outside of Juan Soto, man.
I'm just saying, you need the simple answer. Right there.
Stop.
I will not stop.
They want to make it easy.
Assigned elsewhere.
I'm asking you, you're Andrew Friedman. Andrew, you've got a need with some outfielders here. We'll go with the assumption that you signed Teoscar Hernández to a multi-year contract. Tommy Edman, Andy Paz is going to play center field. Tommy, go from there, find a platoon, however you're going to do it. What would the easy route be to filling your spot in left field? There's your microphone.
Conforto?
There's your microphone.
Conforto could be interesting. I think he'll probably get a starting role, though. Jesse Winker. Anyone want Winker? Another DH type, but get him in a platoon role. I think you could probably live with it. Like I said, I do like Kepler. He's been not great, but he's intriguing. He's had some intrigue. Yeah,
I want to see what Dalton Rushing has, man. I'm not doing this.
I do too, but I think they're going to bring in a veteran to start at least and go from there.
All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that. And then bring him up if he's just absolutely crushing. Go ahead. Roy says, "How about Tyler O'Neill?" I think he's going to get a little bit of a contract here. I don't know if they won't. If they get Teoscar, or we'll just stick with this. Don't bring up Juan Soto. Don't do it. Pull this question down. TQT, what's up, man? Thanks for that one. But just go with the assumption that Teoscar Hernández signs back, right? Do you see them going out and handing out some more money to another outfielder, or I just feel like they would just go get a Band-Aid platoon guy, go from there. Yes, be with, and then we have to get in the conversation of Kike Hernandez playing the outfield. He's always forgotten about in these conversations too.
Kike's not an everyday player. So.
That's what I'm saying. He's a platoon guy, man. The
problem is they don't have a platoon partner for him. If Pajes is your other platoon guy. They're both hitting righties, hit lefties better. I would
He's coming
probably
back,
just,
man.
I mean, I know. Should we go into the Bellinger stuff? Like, he makes sense for the team.
He's not mentioned. It's not
I
happening.
don't. If you're moving like Chris Taylor in a package, clearing salary for both teams, like Bellinger fits the club.
Yeah, he does. We
Need a
know,
center
but it's not
fielder, lefty
happening.
bat. I don't know. Wouldn't totally rule it out.
Iris, that's why I love doing this. Everybody has so many different views on these type of things because there's no concrete answer. It's just everybody has a different viewpoint on filling these holes. That there's a lot of different ways, to fill those needs, right? And everybody has different things that they they point out. DCS, Blake, are you okay? Blake's doing just fine. This is as clear-headed as I've heard Blake in quite some time. He is as grounded as it can be. He's had a lot of Disneyland time recently. He's been hydrated. He's been getting his electrolytes in, like I asked him to. Blake's locked in.
I'm just saying, like, if you're moving Chris Taylor in a deal for Cody Bellinger to like a salary dump, the Dodgers would take on like 10 million more a year, but you're getting your center fielder. I don't think it's a terrible idea. If you're looking for a lefty bat, there's not many great free agents. It allows you to play Tommy Edman every day in center field. He could even end up platooning. You could mix Edman in when you want to sit Bellinger versus a lefty, get Rojas in the lineup at shortstop. Like, there's merit to that idea.
You annoy me because I brought this up like 2 weeks ago and you booed me off the stage.
Then I considered it with
you
Chris
booed me out
Taylor.
of here. I know you did. I remember.
I think it was between Kenley and Bellinger picking, and I took Kenley just based off the contract stuff.
Oh, Donnie boy, this is welcome to off-season baseball, man. Speculation is the king. That is what we do, man. That's what we have. We look through rosters, mix and match stuff, and what sounds good, who fit the bill, go from there. Because with this Dodgers organization, anything is absolutely possible. So yes, it all matters.
To be fair, like the front office, the Dodgers front office, they're like debating all these different options and talking through it. Like they have their whole group of executives debating back and forth, saying like, "Is this what we do? Is this a good idea? Should this be plan A? Should this be plan A?" I think they're probably a lot more nuanced and have like numbers to back everything up than we do right now. We're just having a little more fun with it, trying to be a little more entertaining. But
does he get on base, Blake?
I mean, it's like a 750 OPS guy last year, I think, right?
We love it. Yeah, I mean, he was terrific in his first year with the Cubs, so like it matters. Like he definitely has had a resurgence. So yeah, I used to annoy me because I brought this up and you yelled at me.
I don't think I yelled at you. I think I said I would take Kenley over Bellinger if we were taking a reunion player because of the contract.
Yeah. Goodbye, Caesar. Thanks for playing, man. Enjoy chat purgatory. Coming in here doing that, clown. Yeah. Give me a couple more here and we'll call it. Chat, you've been awesome tonight. Everybody tuning in, 2,500. Thank you so much. We appreciate you across all social medias, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Again, thank you for all the support off season. We do our best to bring you as much content as we can. Mike, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Says, how about trading for Byron Buxton for center field and move Tommy to shortstop? Tale as old as time. Byron Buxton, when he's on the field, the tough part about this is like the Twins trading Byron Buxton, you're not going to get the value. You might just be hoping that if you're the Twins, that you're trading away a guy who just cannot stay healthy. But when he's on the field, he's one of the most dynamic players in Major League Baseball. How about it, though, Blake?
He is the Tyler Glasnow of position players. I think that's about the best compliment you can give him. Because, like you said, when he's on the field, dynamic, fun player. Not on the field too much, but hey, that's kind of right up the Dodgers' alley. So it's intriguing. I'd be for it, but I kind of don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I agree. It's something that's fun to talk about, but if you do that, if you're the Twins, like you're shifting away from where you're at. Like you're those type of trades, you would better have a second option in there to take over for it. It would be good, but are the Twins in a position to do that? I don't know. I definitely don't know. It would signal a different period for the Twins, for sure. Donnie Boy says, what about Jeff's pick, Harrison Bader? I don't know. That was a guy that we talked about at the deadline last year, right?
Was it the deadline?
I think it was. Was it the beginning of the year?
I think it might have been because the Mets were.
The Mets came in and swooped in. Yeah, we were just talking about filling a spot. I mean, I don't think so. I would rather get someone with a better offensive profile than Harrison Bader for sure. I think it's more leaning towards the corners for me. I know that I think it's a corner outfielder. I think you need another corner outfielder because Andy Pages, I'll know it's not as stellar as you'd like it to be. I feel he can play a competent enough center field to get the job done. I feel like he's a rookie. Like he's a young player. He's going to continue to grow and learn. And I like the bat. I love what he did there against the Mets. And Tommy Edman can play a stellar outfield. So I feel like it's more for the corner outfield slot for sure.
You could mix in a shortstop there too, though.
Yeah, for sure. We talked about that. Like that was the driving force behind like finding a different, shortstop, Willy Adames, bringing in anybody, and go from there. So
Willy Adames, I'm in on that. Pro Willy Adames here.
He's been absent for a bit on our stuff. And I just find it funny when a team like the Yankees or like a thing pops up. It's such a low-hanging fruit that, if they miss out, the New York Yankees miss out on Juan Soto, and a pivot will be to Willy Adames to make a splash. Yankee fans will be pissed. They'd be pissed. You're going to be mad if you don't get Juan Soto no matter what you do. So they better hope they get Juan Soto. Yeah.
Do this one real quick. There's no info on tickets to the Tokyo series yet. MLB hasn't announced that. We will have all that information when they go on sale. Seen a lot of people asking about it. So yeah, nothing to report just yet.
Are we going?
I don't know.
That'd be
Good
sick.
question.
Content would be amazing. I'd get you to try. You'd be trying foods that you would be not all right.
I don't think so.
We'll talk
on the last show. Were you here on the last show when someone asked us who has the least diverse palate out of you, me, and Matt?
I didn't hear that question. Was that a real question?
It was a real question.
And what did you guys say? Me?
I think we said we all said me, but you were in the debate because you don't eat cheese. So
it's not my fault, man.
Do you like pizza?
Yes, because all the stuff, like the toppings and the sauce and everything covers up that. Yes.
Okay, that's what I said. I said I think you liked pizza, which was weird, but yeah.
W. Blake, sticking up for what a stand-up guy. Going to bat for me when I can't defend myself.
I'm still calling you weird for your takes. Just eating meat and like lettuce and stuff.
Facts, man. Jasmine rice, avocado. Denji, I don't have the worst palate, man. That's fake news. Nope. Not accepting that. Not accepting that. But yeah.
True. Real news.
Real news.
Fact checked by us.
Yes. Wikipedia page for sure. Worst palate. Real quick, shout out to Ben Kasparius for having an awesome interview on the Baseball's Dead podcast. I love Benny Caps. I love Benny Caps, man. What a good interview. Insightful guy, very aware. Just had to put that out there real quick. He's just a good dude. Hope he finds his way to stick with the Major League roster.
We have a bullpen rule.
Need it.
He'd be a really good reliever.
I need it. Yeah, Benny Caps. Eden, no doubt. He was locked in. I was very happy to see he's getting some love out there because he deserved it. Gets thrown right into the fire. World Series stuff, playoff stuff. It's just fun times. What I call it exhilarating times to be a fan. A lot of these players getting the recognition they deserve for sure. All right, pick one more for me. We'll send us home. Chat, you've been awesome tonight. One of my favorite shows in quite some time, honestly. Eden says, if everyone stays healthy.
Real quick, that's because it's the first show we've done in quite some time.
Yeah, you've been bailing on me, man.
It was Thanksgiving. You bailed on me. I said I'd get on. You said no. So everyone yell at Scott.
That's true. Eden says, if everyone stays healthy and it's not a bloodbath next year, how many games can this team win? I'm gonna immediately say
161.
Wait, how would that one loss be? What would it be?
They'd probably lose to the Rockies just in a Coors game because that happens.
I respect that. I'd say like 110. We'll just call that 110.
I think they're more talented than the 2021 team.
Yeah, but I feel like they're, with what we've seen, they're good. They manage a certain way. Like they'll manage with urgency when they have to. Like to, they'll feel the pressure around them if they have to do it because they're just gonna. At the end of the day, Blake, postseason's all that matters.
It was 2022, my bad, where they won 111.
Yeah.
I
So
still think, like, even with managing taking your foot off the gas, there's only so much you can do. You don't have the September 40-man rosters. Guys still have to go out there and play. Like, if everyone stayed healthy for the whole year, I think there's a real world they're talking like 120 wins.
Is this if you look at the Dodgers roster for sure, it's just like head and shoulders above everybody else. But from what we saw in the postseason, and we talked about it all year, Blake, how the American League just wasn't living up to it. Like the World Series was going through the National League one way or another. That's just how it was. Is the rest of Major League Baseball, like a lot of these teams, just so far behind the curve in terms of talent and putting it all together?
I think so. I think baseball, we know, is hard. Like, any team can win on any day.
Sure.
It's just how it goes. Like, the best teams are going to lose at least 40 games in a year, no matter what. And I think the Dodgers have it mostly figured out as much as you can in that sense, but there's still just always going to be that baseball randomness that comes into play. Things are going to go wrong. The game is just hard in general. So even when you do things right, things are going to go wrong and they're going to end up losing some games. So even though the Dodgers are like way ahead of everyone else, it seems like, doesn't mean they're going to always show it. And it doesn't mean they're going to win the World Series, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Definitely. All right, chat. We appreciate you. I'm gonna go stare at the wall because Blake said I only lettuce and chicken. So I got to think about that a little bit.
I think I said beef too.
He's a bully, man. This is one of my best buddies bullying me. I'll let you know. I'll let you know the verdict of that. All right. Chat, I appreciate you. This is Blake Williams, managing editor, Dodger Blue, one of the hardest working guys I know. It's good to be on here with you, man. I'm Scott Geirman, senior writer, Dodger Blue. As always, guys, keep celebrating this World Series championship. Hope you're enjoying the offseason here. Remember, Shohei Ohtani announced his signing on December 9th of last year. So similar timeline with Juan Soto. Expect something to break in the next couple of days. Hopefully, if it's not, Juan Soto to the Dodgers, we hope that's the case. But if not, Teoscar Hernández, for me, number one target there. He'll be back in. Chat, thanks for being active tonight. Hilarious. One of my favorite shows in a long time. Blake, give us a last word, and we'll be here.
Future Dodger, Juan Soto.
Right on, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, man. All right, guys. We'll see you all soon. And as always, go Dodgers, you guys.